Hey folks, Alex here, 9 to 5 to Freedom. In today's video, we'll give an update on the market, the bloodbath, what happened to my portfolio. We're going to figure out how we're going to cope through this time together. I'll show you what happened with the put option that I bought against Wpay and my thoughts around that. And we'll talk about what's going on in the market. So let's dive into it. And by the way, if you like my new studio, please give me a thumbs up. Okay, let's go. So we'll start out first, as always, what's happening in the markets. I guess we're gonna have our first trillionaire here, Mr. Musk. Seems like most of the people have approved the $1 trillion package for this guy, so good for him. Yeah, so a very red day today. S&P 500 is down 1.12%. Nasdaq is down 1.9. Dow is down 0.84. Let's quieten down this music a little bit. Russell 2000 down 1.86, and the volatility index hovering around 8%. Gold is down slightly, but pretty much flat. So, yeah, not the best type of day that we would expect. And we'll just take a look at the S&P 500 year to date. Looks like S&P is up 14.5%, which is not too bad. Now, let's dive into my portfolio, folks. Okay, so it's a little bit volatile aftermarket, but as you can see here, not a very good day. I'll just zoom in for you here. 7% down on my portfolio. $13,000 just vanished. Okay, now this is the price you pay, or the price I pay, I guess, for investing into something very volatile like Wpay. Now, as I mentioned in my previous videos, I did make not the best choice of doubling down on Wpay beginning of the week. I thought maybe for all the earnings that Wpay was holding, we'd have a little bit of a bull run, but I was wrong. So anyways, that kind of, increased my margin, which increased my exposure to this huge downturn. For the week, this account, folks, is down $18,000. That is a little bit discouraging. 1 month down $22,000. 3 months, I am pretty much flat. Okay, so we have wasted the past 3 months doing all this stuff. Okay, so that is the reality. Now, if we zoom out, folks, again, looking back at the S&P 500, this is just a little blip. We had a blip back in October. We had a blip back in July, a blip in August, a huge blip in April. And you know what happened? We survived through all of those blips. And that's something that I have to keep reminding myself. It's very tough to build, this portfolio this quickly and learn all this stuff, and at the same time document on this channel as well. And folks, I've been transparent in all of the steps that I've taken. I've exposed all of my mistakes, everything that I'm doing wrong, and whatever I'm doing right. So, there's some lesson learned out of all of it. Now, I've had folks leave comments, and they're saying, "Hey, are you hedging your portfolio?" Right? So yesterday I bought a put option because yesterday the market kind of bounced back a little bit, so I was feeling a little bit optimistic. As you can see, yesterday we were up pretty good until the sell-off, but I bought a put option, just to experiment, and this was on Wpay. Let me zoom in here for you. So this option cost me $75, and I was betting against Wpay basically. So I paid $75, and I had it run out until I think it was let's see here. Yep, the 21st of November, right? So we had pretty short turnaround. And today I cashed in on it at pretty much when Wpay was at its lowest, and I got $130 for that. So I made about 50 some bucks, right? So 130 minus 75, 25, $55 is what I made on this put option. Now let's I guess it all depends, how far out you're buying it. This one was pretty close, with it being on the 21st of November. But folks have commented and saying, hey, maybe you should be buying like a quarterly spread, so about 3 months out. So I'll be looking into that, seeing how much that would cost. So basically thinking about it as like an insurance policy. Now, obviously, if we go into a bull run, all of these options will expire worthless, and I'll basically just lose all the money that I'm buying with them. But on a day like today, you can cash in and really kind of hedge your portfolio. So yeah, I think I'm gonna test it out a little bit some more. But that's what we got right now. Looks like some things are trying to creep up after hours. Everything else, folks, was down as well. Eggy was down 3.95% today. Maggie down 2%. Gold slightly slipped. QDT down. XCT down. Blocks took a huge hit today. 6% down. 7.5% down. Sheesh. Blocks got hit 10% in the past week. 15% in the past month. Yeah, I think it's a little bit of a pullback. There's been a lot of talk, AI bubble, not bubble, all this kind of stuff. So, HOW, Hood got absolutely cooked today. This stock was doing really well this year. Again, zoom out, right? If we zoom out, there's like absolutely nothing to panic about. But when we're so concentrated, having so many shares, so much valuation into just the handful of the companies that Wpay is holding, this is kind of the result that we get. So here's my margin update here. So my margin maintenance requirement is $80,000. My buffer is $90,000. You can see here I'm using $100,000 on margin. So yeah, so like I said, I had 50 grand. I wanted to play the earnings, and I have failed to play the earnings. So now I'm kind of stuck with this $100,000 in margin. Am I concerned about it? Maybe a little bit. If we continue to have a couple more red days, I wouldn't really like to experience that. But it is what it is, folks. This is the reality of this industry. It's very emotional, especially when you're kind of glued to the Robinhood app and you're always kind of checking all this kind of stuff. So, yeah, what am I thinking? Long term, possibly again, doing the put options, reducing the amount of margin, and I think going back to diversification. So, again, Wpay, what was the reason behind going all in on Wpay? Well, obviously the premium that it's paying is very lucrative. So there's no arguing about that. And if I think about it logically, instead of Wpay, let's say I had XDT today, right? So I would not have been hit as hard on XDT. So if we look at XDT, the past month performance, XDT is only down 2%. Okay, 3 month, it's only down 1%. Now, XDT pays obviously, slightly less than what we're getting from Wpay, but that is the risk versus reward. You want to have more upfront, it's going to be riskier. You want to be a little bit more stable, you're going to make less money. So yeah, so I'm not giving up. There's a lot of conversation around AI bubble, all this kind of stuff, which is concerning, obviously, because all these tech stocks just had a huge run up, and I think a lot of folks are probably taking profits before the end of the year, and yeah, and we're kind of stuck holding the bag, right? So folks who are overly leveraged can get wiped out pretty easily in days like today or even this week. Here we have Bitcoin. Looks like we're back down to 101. We did slip under 100,000 yesterday, but you can see that Bitcoin is still hovering around $100,000. Okay, well, yeah, that's all I really have for today. Let me know what you guys think. How are you, coping with with this little bit of a red week that we had? And let me know in the comments. What are you doing to hedge your portfolio? Are you diversifying with gold position? Do you have other sector ETFs that you're investing in? Obviously, most of my stuff is very tech oriented, and that's another thing I've been kind of thinking about. It's like, well, what else can we diversify this with? So I want to hear that in the comments, and let me know what you think about my new studio. So and a shout out for this Saturday. We're gonna have a live session 8 a.m. Eastern time, so make sure you show up for that. Bring a cup of coffee, bring your questions or your wisdom, and we'll hang out, look at different funds, and talk dividend. So I hope you liked this video. If you did, if you could just click that like button, leave me a comment, subscribe if you haven't yet. Lots of folks are returning customers, but have yet subscribed, so really appreciate a subscribe. So thanks a lot, take care, and don't lose hope, folks.